So guys, couple updates with the Model 3 Performance. Been a little minute since I did a video. First, apologize if there's any wind noise. We're getting some weather here in Louisiana right now. It's supposed to be getting pretty cold next week, possibly like 20 degree weather next week, and tonight it's getting in the 30s. But anyway, Model 3 Performance here. Last video I did, I believe, was on the lift kit I put on the car and a couple other things I did with it. Well, I went ahead and switched this car to the Tesla T Sport line TS5 rims from T Sport line. Man, that wind is bad. This is what they look like here. These are 18-inch rims. I'll put the dimensions in the description below. But these rims are 18-inch rims. They're actually the TS5s, which are exact replicas of the, or near exact replicas of the Tesla factory track package rims. So they have that same design to them, like those Zero G rims from Tesla on the track package. The only difference is the ones from Tesla for the Model 3 Performance are 20-inch rims, and these are 18-inch rims. With the amount of potholes and everything else that we've had, I've gone through 9 sets of tires since February of 2023. So just comprehend that for a minute. 9 sets of tires on a car from either flats from a nail or a screw, which that could happen with any tire, or blowouts and or rips and tears in the 20-inch tires from sharp road objects, and by that I mean literally the concrete being lifted up higher in one spot than the other, which caused some issues with the tire, where like if you rolled over the higher part of the concrete, it would rip into the tire, and that's something that would happen on a 20-inch rim due to there not being much cushion in tire. Like if you pinch that tire between that rim in that specific spot on a 20, you're gonna get a cut in the tire. And I might have a photo I can actually post on the video screen, which will be coming up there. That'll show you some damage I had. About a month ago, I actually blew 2 tires on the passenger side in New Orleans driving. And it was on this tire and this tire. I rolled over a dip in the road, and then I got instantly the warning on the Tesla screen, do, you know, flat tire. That tire and that tire were blown. And it was a nightmare because I was actually getting ready to switch to the 18-inch rims right before this happened. But I needed to drive the car to my shop in Hammond, Louisiana, that I work with, MOTO. I'll also link that shop in the description below if you're in Louisiana and you want to have some rims and tires mounted on the car. And beaded and all that stuff. You can actually go to the shop. They'll take care of you. I mean, you know, give them the business. They're a small business, but I'll have them linked in the description below. I needed to put temporary tires on the car in order to drive to Hammond to have them do that. And I wasn't going to be towed to Hammond because I don't live in Hammond. So it was a nightmare. I had to buy 2 Continental 20-inch tires, put them on the factory Uber turbine rims, and then drive to Hammond with my new rims that had just arrived the day or two after I blew the 2 tires, and then have them mount the new 18-inch rims and 18-inch tires that I got from a tire rack. Now I did go with Continental tires again. The tires I use, this will also be linked down in the description. There's going to be a lot of links in the description on this video, guys, because I want to make sure if anyone wants to do a similar setup to what I've done here, we'll have the links in the description to be able to do that. So I did go with the Continental DWS 06 Plus all-season tires again. I really like these tires. I had the same tires on the 20-inch Uber turbine rims. I do not believe that the blowout or the rip in the tire has anything to do with the tire brand. That was simply a really bad outcome of having a 20-inch rim with that low profile tire, is that, you know, that would happen with any tire, Michelin, Falcon, Continental, anybody. That's not the brand's fault. Now, I will say Continental service was very nice. They offered a free roadside to have me towed to a tire shop so I could get some new tires mounted on there, which was really awesome. I did not have to pay to be towed. And with that damage that I had on the screen there, those rips in the tire, there's no way for me to, say, repair that. I do carry a plug kit and a little basic bike air pump in the trunk. And the reason you'll notice that this divider is no longer here and a lot of the stuff is taken out of the trunk is purely for weight. I've done a lot of things on the car to reduce a lot of that weight and kind of improve the efficiency of the car. And with that being said, I don't carry much of anything in the car. This is the most I have. It's a basic bike pump in case I get a nail or a screw in a tire. I can air it back up. I have a basic PSI meter, and I have a basic, very, very basic $20 tire plug kit from Amazon. Now I do own the Tesla inflator slash tire repair kit that they sell for $70 on their website. I haven't used it once. And I don't plan to use it. That's why I've taken it out of the car. Now, I might bring that on a road trip, but the fact of the matter is, if you use that goop stuff that's in the tire repair kit Tesla sells, you're going to need a whole new rim. That stuff sticks to the inside of the rim. There's no way to get that out, to my knowledge. Once it dries, that's a wrap. And with T-Sportline, the way they do their rims, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, because I love T-Sportline. I bought a lot of things from T-Sportline. But the way they do their rims, you can't just buy a single rim from them. I'm sure if you reached out to customer service, maybe they would help you, but you can't buy a single rim. So if I were to use that tire repair inflator stuff and run a rim in order to get to my destination, by inflating it temporarily and fixing the flat temporarily with that foam stuff, I would need to buy an entire set from T-Sportline again of rims. I'm not doing that, which is why I no longer carry the $70 tire repair kit. The way I see it is if I get a rip in the tire, I'm not going to use the $70 tire repair kit. I'm just going to call Continental. When I bought these 18-inch tires from Continental through Tire Rack, again, the link will be in the description, it reset my roadside assistance with Continental. So hear this out. Continental gives you 3 roadside requests per year. That's a lot. 3 roadside requests. So you can call with every set of tires you buy, you can call 3 times in a year and be towed to your destination due to a flat or anything related with the tires. I'm not saying to do this, but if, say, for some reason you forgot to charge, this would be really hard to do with Tesla. If you own a Tesla, you know this would be really hard to do. But if you did, technically, you could call Continental and say, hey, I got a flat. You didn't really get a flat, you ran out of charge, but you could say you got a flat and have Continental tow you. I mean, it's roadside, and that comes with every set of tires you buy from Continental. Now, Michelin and all these other brands have similar things, but Continental's just, they're so easy. And this is not no ad of Continental. I'm just telling you guys the great experience I've had with the brand. So when I bought this set of 18-inch tires from Continental, that roadside got renewed, and now I'm good to use it again. So that time I got towed when I had the 2 blowouts in New Orleans, that got reset when I bought these new tires, and now I have another 3 for the next or pretty much for the lifetime of the tires. They do have a 50,000 mile guarantee on the tires, so with this being a Tesla, chances are I'm going to burn through that tread faster than 50,000 miles. So when I do, I'll just file a claim with Continental and get a whole new set on them, because that's their warranty they offer. I will say I've put about 5,000 miles on these tires, or maybe not 5,000, about 3,000. they don't seem to be like really having any hit, and it's hard to see there with the light with the camera, but the compound they use on these all seasons seems pretty good. It's really stiff compound. It doesn't seem to burn very quickly, and that could just be it's a good tire, but yeah, it's good. So definitely recommend, you know, the Continental tires. But yeah, that's the basic of what I carry. A basic, you know, tire plug kit and an air pump and an air PSI meter. Like that's it. And again, the reason for that is if I get a nail or a screw, I can fix that myself. There's no reason to call Continental and be towed. I can fix that myself, air it up, and then that way I could either leave the plug in and drive on that, which is not recommended, but if the plug's holding air, you could. It's actually even more not recommended with a Tesla due to the torque of the motors, and it's not a good idea. But if you had to, you could do this. Or it would allow me to drive to the destination, right, and then have the tire patched if the nail or screw wasn't on the sidewall, in which case I would probably have to buy a whole new tire. But otherwise I would just call Continental and have them tow me to a tire repair shop. Now, quickly back to the rims, because I don't want to make this video extremely long, and this is like a lot of information. I'll probably make another one talking about some other stuff, but when I got the T-Sportline TS5 rims, there's some stuff to know about them. Like the track package, they are extremely lightweight. So a lot of that is to do with the forged design of them. These rims are 22 pounds, okay? The Tesla factory Uber turbine rims weigh in at around 35 pounds or so, okay? So we're talking a significant weight decrease from the car. My car now is weighing similar to a long-range Model 3 instead of a Model 3 Performance due to the weight reduction of each rim. Along with that, I'll link these in the description as well. These here are titanium lug nuts, okay, that T-Sportline also sells. So not only do they have the rims, which if it'll focus, but also the titanium lug nuts. Now, okay, I get it's only like a pound or two, if that, off the car's weight. But if I'm going 22-pound rims, which are really light, I might as well put titanium lug nuts and get an extra pound or two off the car. Because why not? And with everything, like all this stuff out of the car, this weighs nothing, that weighs a little bit. But say if I was going to race somebody, I would take all that out the car. I would take everything out the glove box. There would be nothing in the car. The car would be a shell. Me personally, I weigh about 130 pounds with clothes on, okay? So I don't weigh very much. So that, with the weight reduction of the rims and the lug nuts and everything else, the car is running really well. I'll actually post a screenshot on the screen right now. Tesla rates the Model 3 Performance, okay, at 3.1 seconds after, okay, that's key word, a 1 foot rollout is subtracted. That's how they do it. That's how a lot of companies do it now. This car, I heated the battery up using the Route 2 supercharger function. That way it'll heat the battery up and make that coolant warm the battery. I did that for about 20 minutes. While it was heating up, I was charging the car. I charged the car to 90% or 95% battery. It was at. I left and went to a dead, abandoned road, right? And I did a few 0 to 60 runs where it was safe. There's nobody around. It was like 1 in the morning as well, so everybody was asleep. But there was no houses in the area. Anyway, I did a few 0 to 60 runs. I was able, after a 1 foot rollout was subtracted, I got a 2.99 second 0 to 60 run after the 1 foot rollout, okay? And that may not seem significant, but that's 0.1 seconds faster than what Tesla rates the car after the 1 foot rollout. because they rated at 3.1 seconds. So again, it's not significant, but with the new rims, the lug nuts, and these other upgrades, I was able to get the car 0.1 seconds faster than what Tesla rated. And I didn't just do that one run. I was able to do that 2 or even 3 runs with my DRAGGY GPS satellite, 0 to 60 meter, which I'll post that in the description below. So it wasn't like an error in the reading. I did it 3 times to try and minimize some of that error. And each time I got a similar result. One was 3.0 seconds flat, one was 2.99 seconds flat, and that's after the 1 foot rollout. And I was just getting really good readings. But what you guys have to realize with this is that's with my car having a lift kit on it, okay? So I'm catching a lot more air drag than a stock Model 3 Performance or a lowered Model 3 Performance would. I'm catching a lot more air drag, right? And you can see the lift kit there. I've showed this before in a prior video. But not only that, but the temperature was about 40 degrees outside when I did my 0 to 60 tests. So imagine if it had been summer when the battery was nice and hot and the battery wasn't struggling to keep temperature. Even with the route to supercharger thing and then turning it off after, the battery's still slowly getting cold because it's cold outside. So it's hard to keep that battery at that hot temperature where it's performing at its best. So during winter really isn't the best time to do 0 to 60 testing. But again, that's with the car being lifted and it being about 40 degrees outside the other day when I did this testing. I was able to get 0.1 seconds faster than what Tesla rates the car. So if it had been summer and the car was lowered instead of lifted, I personally believe I would have been able to get 2.99 seconds or 2.9 seconds with the 1 foot rollout subtracted. I think I could have got possibly 0.2 second faster than I did, and may have been able to get 0.2 seconds faster than what Tesla states. Now any more than that realistically is unrealistic without doing severe cuts to the car, like taking the interior of the door panels off and all those things. When you start getting into some of that, then you could start getting into those 2.8, 2.7 second range, some of those more extremes. But I have no reason to do that personally. I was just curious to see what my Model 3 Performance 0 to 60 was, with it being lifted and it being cold outside. That's really why I kind of did some of that testing. And to see, like, okay, what effect did a lot lighter rims and lug nuts have, and that was the result. It definitely had an effect. That was a lot of weight reducted from the car. So anyway, I want to end this video before 20 minutes. I'll post the DRAGGY in the description. I'll post the tires, the TS5s from T-Sportline in the description. I'll post the lug nuts in the description. Post all this stuff in the description. I'll show the pictures, make sure I get those pictures of the tires being ripped open when I had the 20-inch rims. I'll have all that in the video. And for those wondering, the Uber turbines, I already sold them. They had a little bit of curb damage from me, oops, it happened, right, only human. But those got sold to another guy, and like they're gone. So I'm never going back to 20-inch rims. I told the guys in Hammond at the shop, I said, look, at MOTO, I was like, look, if I ever come back and I'm like, hey, I want to put 20-inch rims, tell me no, we're not going to do it. You got to go somewhere else. That way I don't do it. Like, I want to stay 18s. It's just crazy. And like, even on these 18s, they did increase range by about 40 miles for those curious. It would be the same as a long range Model 3 for those that are curious. So they definitely do increase range by switching to 18-inch rims.